¿Cómo va las cosas, people from all places and races? Another unscripted video we're doing today for a very special reason. So we wanted to talk about a certain console that has stuck with us for various years now. We wanted to talk about the Nintendo Switch. We all know the Nintendo Switch, one of the highest selling consoles of all time, filled to the brim with fantastic titles, the return of many icons, and an overall fantastic experience that has united us all. And we wanted to talk about it. We wanted to talk about the story and some of the games that have marked us forever. So, let's begin, shall we? The story I've had with this console is very odd. It's interesting because the beginning isn't what you would expect as something very grandiose. In fact, it was unexpected because my original plan was to save some money and eventually get it. It was the hot new thing at the time. We're talking about 2017, 2018. Very excited to get it because it blew my mind back then. The idea of being a handheld and a home console was simply fantastic, and we are very glad that that it existed. It was kind of a rough transition from the Wii U console, which I eventually sold because yes, it just didn't work. It just didn't work for us, and friendly enough, it was the right choice for many reasons you have discovered as time goes on. I know folks are going to say that the Wii U was a great console that had many distinct uses, and especially for emulation, but I'm going to be honest with you folks, I don't think it's that big of a deal. For reasons regarding the hardware as a whole. Yeah, that console basically would die after some time, even with the proper care and use. We've heard tons of testimonies regarding the Wii U just dying like that. Well, other consoles like the Xbox 360 that I still got, which one that I haven't used for years until fairly recently, is still working, just like it was, just like if I turned it on yesterday. But yes, so our original plan was to get the console and be able to play the new titles and work hard to get it. But I don't know why it happened. My father basically sent over some money and I got it over here. It was a different era. I could say it definitely was a better one. And I don't know where I was able to get it, and I got it with my caseros. It was an era where the dollar wasn't an issue. And got to play with it for a bit, got Mario Odyssey, and I was really having a good time. I didn't play it much because there was this was mid 2018 when I got it, and thus I got to play for a bit. But we didn't want to connect it at the internet because for the first time there was out of anything potentially happening, because this is Bolivia that we're talking about here. Our internet works differently, and we don't know what would have happened if the console got updated. So yes, but Mario Odyssey for a good time. It was sweet and fun. And then there was an incident that occurred that would definitely change me forever. and it had to do with a trip that I had to do. It was a trip I wasn't very excited about, as in at all. It was basically obliged by my mother, because, well, at the time I wasn't someone that would be very social about many things, that you don't want to socialize, you don't want to put energy into it. And, well, I went to the trip, packed everything, despite a lot of issues. And, well, I went to the trip, and actually I was having a somewhat good time. Mostly because it was on my own, but it's a trip I don't like to talk about that much, I'll be honest with you. And the thing is that an incident that occurred in the room on the almost the final day, was that I left my shoes, hiking shoes I left for this trip, because it was for the most part a long walk. I left it on top of my bed with a bag with my name on it, and the door was shut, and they stole them. They stole the shoes. We still don't understand what happened, but I basically had to. I lost them. I was impressed by what happened, baffled, and my mother basically was very angry at me because of that. Like, how could you lose the shoes? Like, it wasn't my fault. They got stolen in the room. Yeah, that trip was probably one of the really experiences that made me the person who I was today, and I frankly don't like to talk about it that much, at least not here. But yeah, as a consequence of that, I had to pay the shoes. I had to sell the game. I had to pay my mother for the shoes as a consequence for my actions, even though I said that I didn't want to go in the first place. And because of that, I had to sell Super Mario Odyssey and use that money to pay up for the shoes. We got eventually somewhat of a replacement. Yeah, it was just one of those days. After that, my entire life was shaped completely. I was a different person after that trip, and really, after that, I did not go to any activity related with school. Because seriously, how could you blame me for that? And there's a lot of other stuff that happened. Okay, I want to move on. Okay. So after some time, after some time happened, and there was an opportunity for good old Spark to get a lot of the games that we've always wanted, thanks to certain caseros that we had, especially our main casero. And well, I had to work my way up to get a lot of these games. Working hard. Basically making a few deals here and there, having to sell some stuff, saving up money, and what was necessary. And eventually, I was finally able to play the games properly. No, I forgot. Here's an intermission. There's something we forgot to mention. So, yeah, the Odyssey was sold because of what happened. And there was no games to play on the Switch. In fact, it was untouched for months because there was no games. And at the time, there wasn't any Wi-Fi connection, so there was no way to download any demos or update the console. And remember I said, we don't update the console here because it's Bolivia. We don't know what could happen. And yeah, the Switch was not used until 2019. For various months, it was just right there. It was because there was no reason to play it. There was just nothing to do with it. And the first game that I was actually able to save up money for was New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. One would argue why that one out of all the other titles that were already in the system, all the other titles that were there, but no, I basically just wanted to have something to play with, and I wanted to take a safe bet on something that I would thoroughly enjoy. And I got it, and I had a blast with it. It was, New Super Mario Bros. U. I already played that game before, but I was able to finish it much quicker, and I was also being able to play it with some of my cousins and some people I knew at the time. I was also able to get this game some extra controllers and stuff because, well, I made a very important trip. And after that, sometimes happened what we mentioned would happen. There was a chance for us to get the games because of how it was a better time and how the dollar wasn't non-present, contrary to today. We should probably talk about this for a little bit. The situation of the dollar is very harsh, to say the least. There are currently the liquidity of the dollar is very unstable. It's very the prices of the dollar as a whole is very scarce, and that has caused also for the Bolivian, the local coin here in Bolivia, to be devaluated, and also it has caused an inflation of many products, like for example basic food. We also had certain medicines, and especially on important goods. Important goods was one of the things that was mostly affected currently by the lack of the dollar. We know all this because that is the thesis I'm working on. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that we need to leave the channel and leave social media. We are working very hard on this. It's important. But yes, back in those years, it was easier to get stuff. It was in a much more fair price, even though it wasn't as you could say controlled, because there's always gonna be someone that charges you more or less depending on the title, especially if the game is a very known game like Mario, like Zelda, Sonic. Some of them they're gonna charge you more. Some of them they could charge you less if it's used. There was a much more ability to get stuff around here and to even get stuff repaired. And those were some very great years where we've been able to enjoy the titles. And even with certain situations that happen afterwards, our time with the Switch has been wonderful. We've been able to enjoy some of the greatest titles that have ever existed. Here comes my favorite part. The games that I enjoyed all this time. It's honestly kind of, wow, there's so many things we could talk about, so we should probably just focus on what we do believe is important. I discovered I have a really great passion for rhythm games. And one of the main titles that got me hooked on was Group Coaster. Group Coaster White Party was this game. Is this game where it's a rhythm game, a Japanese rhythm game made by Taito and Zutata. That is basically you have a character moving in a straight line, and there's a bunch of stuff happening, and you have to in the background, and you have to press the buttons and do the moves of either the stick or the buttons, depending on the direction, and it's been a blast. It's amazing. It's so simple, but so well executed. And at the time, I was very into the otaku culture, so of course that was gonna leave me impressed. And another title that I really enjoyed was Taiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun. That game on the Switch was really fantastic, and I got to play so many songs that I ended up recognizing, like Splatoon 2 medley from Kirby music. There's also the Ball Color music, of course, and some other stuff that I got to discover. It was fantastic. It was just such a fun game. what other game was important at the time? I mean, Smash, of course, Mario Kart, Yoshi's Crafted World, the ports of the Wii U, 3D, and the 3DS on the Switch. And yeah, got to, landed some games. I got to enjoy some others. But we do believe that this game deserves a very special mention. And it's one that we all know and love. It has to do with our channel, Mario Bros. Rabbids. It was so odd. I mean, living the Mario Bros. Rabbids era was so odd because not even the Rabbids fans, the hardcore Rabbids fans would even believe it. But it happened. And at first I wasn't all that into it. I'll be honest. I wasn't all that into it. But then I got the hook of it, and then I really had a blast with it. Finished it 100%. Even got the DK DLC, and it was simply mesmerizing. And of course, years later, by some very particular deals, I got to enjoy the sequel and all the DLC as well. That was many years later, and of course, Sparks of Hope is, and has been an incredible experience. It's amazing that I got to live this with the fandom as a whole. Got to be updated on all the news, the leaks that was going on, and I got to speak. There was for the first time in my life, there was a community I could speak out about a game. It was the first time, because there was all the Rabbids fans that was there. Like Tara, Barranco, Lawrence, Pink, and we had Jawai, and Razor, and Orland, and Ray Kid, and all the other folks that deserve so much love in this fandom. Wow, it was such a lovely experience. Got to meet so many people here. And if there's any title that is just as important as that one, to me at least, is Party of Legends. We all know the story of this game that has given me, wow. We know that it's just an okay party game. It has some good elements. The mini games are certainly creative, even though a lot of them are, a bunch of them are somewhat remastered, remade versions, basically inspired by the classic mini games from the original trilogy. But it's a game that has given me so many wonderful things because of its existence and because of what it led to. Because remember, we fought for this game. The game released in 2021 in August, remember? And we got to experience the original Chinese version because of certain things I can't share. But we were working really hard on it to get it to get it overseas so everyone can enjoy it. And remember, Operation Shanghai. We worked on this, and there was a lot of stuff that happened. Like, what happened with my distance from Rabbids United, the stuff that happened before back in 2021. And that game releasing was a new beginning for me. It was such a incredible feat that it just led to some of the greatest things in my life. I got to connect with so many people. I got to manage so many projects. That's why June 30th is Rabbids Fandom Day, because to me, it's a day where everything changed. It was the start of the Renaissance era of the Rabbids fandom, and that's when all of the stuff that you're seeing right now, all the stuff that we've been doing for the last 3 years, existed. The music, the songs, the plushies, Trouble Gals, Rabbids Fandom Multiverse, all the crossovers and references to other projects, the fact that we were able to connect with the Rayman fandom and the Balan fandom, everything happened because of this. And yes, this is a title I would hold deep in my heart for as long as I live. And I think something else that we'll be mentioning is that we got to experience titles that we were never able to finish. Here's a quick story. It's that there's three games in my life that I never got to finish. But not because they were hard or because they were bad, but because something always happened when I tried to finish them. The console that was not working, and the controller, or it was on a PC, and now I had to, and something happened to the computer, and now we had to repair it. We lost all the data, and we had to restart over again. There was something always that happened. And the three games were Pac-Man World 2, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and Rabbids Go Home. Never got to finish them. Like, I played them various times, but I never got to finish them. But because of the remakes that were done for 2 out of 3 of these games on the Switch, I got to finally finish them. And it's good to know I'll be able to feel good that I got to finish these games after so long, even though it is in a somewhat different way. But we are happy that it happened, and because of this incredible console and its incredible lineup of titles, we were able to enjoy this. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is just such a fun puzzle platformer. The remake was as simple as it is. It's just really creative, and we love the music. It's simply so beautiful and so fantastic. We should all play it. And Pac-Man World 2. We have to talk about the title that people have been asking for years, that just came out of nowhere, and we finally got to have it in our hands. And wow, it was such an improvement over the original. It felt like a totally distinct game. Sorry, we cannot call it a remake, honestly. It's a reimagining of the original World 2 title because of everything that it has new. How the levels are made, the graphics have been different, the story feels distinct, and all the other changes that have been done for the title is incredible. I'm so glad I got to finish it at last. The only one of this small list is Go Home, unfortunately. I don't think I'll be able to finish it anytime soon. We mentioned that we are in the middle of an inflation and a lot of stuff happened. So Louis no longer here. So yeah, we can't play games on the Wii anymore. But maybe if there's a remake, it could be good to finally finish it, or a remaster. Hey, I can't complain. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I could probably be here talking about more of the games I got to enjoy in Nintendo Switch, the experiences I got to live, but frankly, it's been a console that I hold deeply in my heart, and it's probably one of the best consoles I've had, period. It's just one that still to this day I'll have tons of more things to discover, to play. There are games out there I've had interest in playing that I haven't got yet, or that I'm waiting to get yet. And we know they're gonna be such fun experiences. And we hope that the Switch has also caused an impact in your life. And that would honestly be it. I'm very happy I got to share this with you all. I'm very glad. And yeah, this is the last of the unscripted videos. So yeah, it was fun. Thank you for everything. It's been fun. Wait here because we got a few more things around, and we'll see you around.